Hey guys, it's Ivix. Anyway, so what does this thumbnail mean? Okay, this is a mouthful, get ready for it. We're taking everafterhigh characters and monster-high characters and creating them in this one school called royalehigh in Enchantix High. There's a lot of highs. So I'm taking 2 everafterhigh characters, 2 monster-high characters, and pairing them in an Enchantix High dorm based on the dorms that exist in Enchantix High. This won't be so easy, especially with everafterhigh characters. So for example, fire dorm, there are no fire characters. Therefore, it's gonna go off metaphorical fieriness. Yeah, I'll go with that. Let's begin. Our contenders are Ashlyn Ella, Nina Thumbell, Batsy Clara, and Venus McFlytrap. So, why would these characters be the best candidates for this theme?
You guys know my story.
Ashlyn is a character who is soft-natured by spirit, which is really similar to plants. I mean, she embodies that part of a plant. But when plants or nature wants to be wild and untamed and unruly and not listen to human standards, they can be. Just like her when little old a certain someone Apple White tells her who she can and can't be with. Who the heck is Apple White? Oh, hey guys. Nina Thumbell is one of the strongest fits for the nature dorm. I mean, if you don't look at her and the first thing you don't think is, hey, she belongs to the nature dorm, then you're crazy. As the daughter of Thumbelina, she's deeply connected to gardens, forests, and the nature world. Also, her delicate personality kind of gives nature queen, calmness. Unlike characters who simply enjoy nature, Nina lives in harmony with it.
Joined the Monster High exchange program.
Then we have Batsy Clara. A interesting character. First of all, her look resembles nature perfectly, but also, when her rainforest home was attacked, she didn't just sit there and, sleep around. Okay, she's not gonna sleep in a second. Just give her a second. Okay, perfect. She decided to stand up, take action, because these stupid little trolls were getting in her rainforest in her little way, and she protects nature, or whatever. She does something with nature, and we love that for her.
Or else it will fall apart. See?
Then we have the one and only Venus McFlytrap. A bit of a scary individual, I must say, but similar to Batsy, she makes sure that nature is protected, and does apparently that to people's faces. Essentially, she loves to recycle, and she definitely makes sure that she makes others recycle. I mean, she's an activist, if you will, a monsterist. Get it? Because humanist, monsterist. Anyway, she has an attitude, which is actually perfect. And the best part of all these nature candidates, 2 from everafterhigh and 2 from Monster High, is that they would all get on really well. Nina and Ashlyn possess soft, kind spirits, like nature can be. However, with Venus and Batsy, they possess the more powerful side of nature, which means they're all perfect for the role and for the dorm. Our contenders are, from everafterhigh, Faye Balthorn, Ramona Badwolf, from Monster High, Heath Burns, and Gina Firelong.
What about me?
Well, your cousin Heath Burns already represents your elemental race. Anyway.
No, not you, Seamus.
Ah, poo.
This is Gina Fire. She is super talented.
Gina Firelong is the perfect choice for the fire dorm. This is because fire is a natural part of who she is. As the daughter of the Chinese dragon, she can breathe and control fire, using it as one of her signature dragon abilities. She views fire as a source to control, which is obviously different to others in her dorm. She is calm, focused, and highly self-controlled. Her gentle and self-controlled side kind of reflects how fire sometimes can be. Fire isn't always this fiery force. Sometimes it's controlled, ultimately, and she displays that perfectly.
I'm just warming up.
Heath Burns is an obvious choice for the fire dorm. Hello, he's literally got fire powers. As the son of fire elementals, he can ignite and control flames, with his hair bursting into fire whenever he gets excited, angry, or shows off. Fire isn't just an ability he has, though. It's a part of his identity. His energetic, bold, and fearless personality also matches the element of fire. I mean, again, he's a fire elemental, pretty obvious. But for the most part, he represents almost like a blue flame. But he's not blue. Okay, whatever.
You just keep plugging away, haircut boy. Don't mind me.
Doesn't even look like she belongs in the fire dorm. Do you have a better choice? Didn't think so. If you're placing Fable Thorn in the fire dorm, the strongest argument is to focus on her personality rather than her fairy heritage, obviously. So essentially, the blue flame idea, similar to Heath, is kind of where I'd put her. Essentially, if you're placing her in the fire dorm, it's because of her bold personality. She's fearless, competitive, never backs down from a challenge, like a really, really hot blue flame. I know my girl would give any freaking fire elemental, I don't know, Heath Burns and another loser, a run for their money. Maybe the fieriness comes from the fact that she's also voiced by the same voice of Raquel. But essentially, like fire, Fable is powerful and unpredictable. Her emotions burn brightly, whether it's her ambition, confidence, or temper. She has the spark to lead, the courage to stand her ground, and the intensity to make a lasting impression literally wherever she goes.
What's, so exciting?
Me.
Well. The girl who literally blows out fire, essentially, in her destiny? Whatever. It's Ramona Badwolf, and here's why she fits the fire dorm. Well, she's bold, fierce, full of clearly unstoppable energy. Really, she gives off such fiery vibes to me. It's similar to Fable, but obviously those two would not get along. I don't think anyone in this dorm would get along, but that's their problem, not mine. In fact, let's just do a little moment. We forgot to do that. So, as the daughter of the big bad wolf and sister to Cerise, she has a wild spirit and isn't afraid to speak her mind or jump headfirst into a challenge. Honestly, she's probably the best other candidate. Everafterhigh is a bit of a vague one, so you're just gonna have to accept what I have to say about her. She's fiery, she's confident, and hey, she's in this dorm whether they like it or not. They don't like it. They told me. Okay, time to summarize the fire dorm. And we still have so many dorms to do. This is going to take all day. So, in summary, and they're all going to be summarized together, many characters displayed in front of you, representing the fire dorm, 2 from everafterhigh, 2 from monsterhigh, have their moments. But before I summarize, as you guys could tell, this is quite hard to do the fire dorm. So from here on out, it's going to be hard. The nature dorm was easy, but it's not going to be that easy from this point onwards. And we still have, 10 to go? Like, for example, we all know Fable could probably work in the dark dorm because she's the daughter of the dark fairy, but I don't have any other candidates for the fire dorm in everafterhigh, so you're gonna have to work with it. Nature was easy, okay, y'all? We are in for a roller coaster. So, in summary, we have Fable Thorn and Ramona Badwolf, everafterhigh. Their personalities are more so fiery, and that's the best I could do with the characters of everafterhigh. Then we have Gina Firelong and Heath Burns. They actually possess fire powers. Overall, nobody here would really get on. Gina Fire's the only normal one, but it's all I could really deal with. Okay, I was playing the love dorm back in Enchantix high days. I don't care for the fire dorm. Oh, why is everyone watching us? Anyway, time to make a splash. So, our contenders, everafterhigh, Duchess Swan, and Michelle Mermaid, monsterhigh, Honey Swamp, and the one and only, Laguna Blue.
You're in my shot. I'm Honey Swamp.
Okay, it's been several days, but I'm back filming. Sorry. So, Honey Swamp is a perfect fit for the water dorm. I mean, it's in her name. I feel like the water ones are pretty obvious and you're gonna find that out pretty soon. But yeah, she's connected to the water like that. She feels at peace with water. It's in her heritage. She probably listens to Water by Tyler. I mean, she feels most at peace in the wetlands. And has a deep appreciation for the unique ecosystem they provide. And she's also calm, adaptable, and creative. Qualities often associated with the water elements. Water is able to flow, similar to her. She can stay to her true self, but flow with the flow. I don't know what I'm talking about. We all know this one is an easy one, okay? monsterhigh is pretty easy to associate with royalehigh, Enchantix high dorms.
I betcha I know what's eating him.
Well, you know how boys are.
Well, it's the one and only, Laguna Blue. Would this be a fair video if Laguna was not involved? No. My favorite monsterhigh character is Laguna, and she's like the clearest choice for the water dorm, even though monsterhigh has many, many great candidates. Well, Laguna is the daughter of the sea monster. She actually feels most alive when she's swimming. I mean, this girl is like inclined with water, obviously. Also, forget that she's a sea monster. She's Australian. Like, hello, water is like, I don't know, in her DNA or something like that.
Time to go Black Swan on this place.
So, Duchess Swan belongs in the water dorm because her fairy tale is inseparable from water. As the daughter of the Swan Princess, Odette herself, she's magically connected to the swans, lakes, and graceful waterways. Water is where her story unfolds, symbolizing elegance, transformation, and resilience.
How are you? I am under the water.
But I probably should take account her really, really dark side. Because if she is following her mother's story, she is nowhere like Odette's. She's more like, if we're talking Barbie Swan Lake, Odile? Maybe there's a birth swap. Anyway, she represents the dark side of water. Like, you know, water at night and water swallowing people whole and sharks. You know, the dark side. Take me. Okay, I'm not trying to get copyrighted, but... Oh, and this is me finding out that Odile isn't just in the Barbie Swan Lake, but she actually exists in the real ballet. You can tell I'm not cultured. But anyway, yes, she's like the dark side of water, you know, the scary side. I think I've said this enough, actually. I'm gonna move on from Duchess.
Hi, Michelle. It's nice to meet you.
Michelle. Yes, it's Michelle Mermaid. She's a mermaid, obviously. I mean, this is probably the easiest one to do, so it's not gonna take long. Michelle is the daughter of the Little Mermaid. No, Disney, not that Little Mermaid, calm down. And yes, she could have been great for the music/Popstar dorm, and they will be put together because I literally have run out of characters, but we also ran out of characters for the water dorm. Need I say much? She actually sings, obviously, in Ever After High, and the only way she can actually like perform in front of people and not be shy is in a tank bowl, a fish bowl of water. So, I mean, guys, she's a mermaid. If you can't figure this one out, then I don't know. So, in summary, we have Duchess Swan, Michelle Mermaid, Laguna Blue, and Honey Swamp in the water dorm. Each one represents the different types of waves you might get and cycles that water goes through. Calm waves and feisty waves. Michelle's the calm, shy waves, whereas Duchess brings on the dark storm, you know, the bottom of the ocean. Laguna can be, you know, a bit more of a feisty kind of surfing wave, and Honey's in the middle, really. As an Apple White hater, I'm aware of the irony that she is here, but you wait and see. From Ever After High, we have Farrah Good Fairy, Apple White, Monster High, Frankie Stein, and Kiyomi Hunterly. No, Ariana, not that Kiyomi.
Kiyomi, get your ass in here. Come on, girl.
Time for another typical Apple day.
So, first of all, it's going to take me the longest to analyze Raven and Apple, and I'm going to try and be as serious as possible with these two specifically because they are the main characters of the show. So their sequences will be a lot longer than everyone else's. Well, not a lot, but just a bit more, okay? Okay. And for thumbnail purposes, Apple is in the good category, and Raven is in the bad, as you'll see later on. So call it clickbait for this portion of the video because Apple is actually inherently bad and Raven is good. However, I will still try to fight my case for Apple, but in the way that you'd think an Apple hater would, okay? However, when we are introduced to Apple in the first season of the show, as you can see in these clips, she does seem inherently good. She seems like a great person. While technically her destiny states she's supposed to be good, we can see through her mom and through Apple's actions, they're both bad. So it's like kind of ironic. Apple does all these good deeds, but she's ultimately a really bad person, as we're gonna see. The only part I will give Apple credit for in terms of appearing good is her color scheme and her destiny. In her destiny, she's supposed to be this fairest of them all, beautiful, nice, a queen. And in her color scheme, she's white, she's fair, and these colors are associated with light and angelic features. We are about to get Shakespearean, people, okay? All right, so Apple's angelic appearance, light colors, is ultimately a facade. I love the imagery behind it. And the red in her outfit is kind of like a motif. And it foreshadows, come on people, where are my English people at? It foreshadows her evilness, her devilish behavior. I mean, she thinks she's doing good. That's what all the Apple stands say. Oh, she thinks she's doing good. She's doing great. It's all about the destinies. You people are stupid. Hello? She's selfish. She only opened up the evil queen's magical mirror portal for her own destiny. I did it for you, Raven. I'm the fairest of them all. And apparently not only does she sound like Mickey Mouse, but she's got the red clothes too. But you know what? You didn't do it for Raven's destiny or anyone else's because half your friends have really bad destinies. The rebels and the royals. Look at your face, girl. So yes, Apple needed like a whole 2-minute section with a full rant just of her. She's that special apparently. But in conclusion, specifically for Apple and Raven, I want to make them a bit longer. She's actually inherently bad, but the facade behind her clothes makes her appear inherently good, and her destiny. But now you know she's awful. Guys?
Dash, it's not easy being a future fairy godmother, but I do love enchanting.
Before anyone says anything, yes, Ashlyn could obviously be in the light category, especially from this webisode itself, but a lot of characters fit in more than one category. Okay? Awesome. Obviously, this is not really a surprise. Farah, good fairy, is in the light category. I mean, her destiny itself is basically all about being good, light, angelic. And I know that not all light fairies can be good, but they're supposed to be. And she fits that rhetoric really well. So, fundamentally, what I want to discuss is that genies and fairy godmothers and beings like that who grant wishes for others can't really grant it for themselves. Well, Ashlyn and her friends found a loophole, so they asked Farah to grant wishes for them, but for her, which worked really well, if someone didn't actually say, hey Farah, I wish that you had this, she would never have that. And obviously, not everyone's as kind as Ashlyn, like technically, like I said, she could also fit in this category. But the fact that they're willing to go all the way just to help her is a good thing. However, like I said, if someone doesn't do that, she's kind of stuck without any wishes. It's like Cupid. She's a hopeless romantic who helps others. Also, I want to point out as a side note, in terms of destinies, Cinderella's daughter, Ashlyn Ella, should only get wishes by Fairy Godmother's daughter, Farah Good Fairy, and all the other students should not. But yet they do. And they overwhelm Farah like crazy. If it wasn't for Ashlyn stepping in, Farah, because she's naturally supposed to be in this realm as a good fairy, obviously, she decides to just try and help them, even though she was overwhelmed, telling Ashlyn, oh, thanks for saving me, but doesn't actually want to say it to others because she displays the light realm really well. There's nothing else I can say about her. She's great. She's awesome. She's actually really underrated. So, Kiyomi is actually a really good character, part of the Light Dorm, and we're looking at her in Monster High's Haunted movie. So, that's where we see her inherently light and good character, despite her heritage. Okay, I have a few points. Point number 1, she helps the Monster High girls when they're trapped in the ghost world rather than turning against them. Point number 2, she becomes friends with Draculaura and the others despite obviously being a bit, hostile because of a different environment with different monsters. Third point, she stands up against the even more hostile ghosts who don't come around like she does and doesn't support the mistreatment of the living monsters. Also, she helps the group escape and solve the situation, showing that she's willing to put herself in danger for others.
Our story begins a long, long time ago in a freaky and fabulous place.
I don't know why I saved her for last, but anyway. Hey, it's Frankenstein. Okay, I'm so bad at accents, but listen, okay? That's the same voice as my girl Barbie. I love Frankenstein. I might not be a big fan of her outfit. It doesn't mean it doesn't work perfectly for her as Frankenstein's daughter. I'm not a fan of the color scheme personally, but she is a perfect example of being part of the Light Dorm. Number 1, she's the main character. I mean, hello, her voice actor. Okay, the fact that that's her voice actor itself proves she has to be inherently good. Oh, and before you ask, is that bias? Of course it is. Hello, how can Kate Higgins voice Barbie Life in the Dream House and Frankenstein? Like, hello, Frankie is destined to be good. But the real reason why she fits perfectly in the Light Dorm is, first of all, she's warm, friendly, and welcoming. When we get introduced to her, you think, wow, you can tell she's the main character based on her voice actress. Okay, I'll stop. But she accepts every ghoul for who they are. Probably also because it took a while for her to be accepted. Cleo and all that pizzazz. So she understands not being accepted. And I feel like she's just a perfect fit for the light dorm. I don't know how to describe it, but she's awesome. Like, okay, she's just cool. If you're voiced by Kate Higgins, you are automatically in my book of liked. Okay, and she's liked. All I gotta say about Frankie, maybe not a long enough analysis for one of the best and most popular characters in pop culture and Monster High and Mattel history, but I digress. You already know Frankie's perfect. Let's move on. Or let's summarize the light dorm. Okay, summarizing the light dorm characters. Also, can I say, this felt like the longest dorm to explore. Like, I don't know, we're only here now. Like, I completely forgot about Apple White. Side note, why did I sound so New Yorkan? Forgot about who am I? Apple White. Which is crazy because she lives in my head rent-free because I hate her. So, starting off weak, we have Apple White. So, Apple fits the standard destiny of a light dorm character. She also has the perfect light dorm aesthetic out of the entire group of 4. Like, you know, that whole lights, angelic vibe. Perfect as a Disney prince. So, I didn't mean to say she's a Disney prince. I didn't mean to say she was a Disney princess. As a princess would. Don't sue me. But she's awful. She's evil. She's awful. And I already went in a long enough rant about her. There are plenty of YouTube videos and icebergs that discover Ever After High and Apple White as awful. So you can go watch those. Okay? I've already done a lot so far. Moving on, we have Fairy Good Fairy. It's in her name, it's in her destiny, she follows her destiny, and she actually goes above and beyond because she helps all of those, even the ones who aren't in need, because half the people that ask for her help don't need any of the things they want. They want those things. Okay, we get it, like okay, whatever, she helps them, she's great. Then we have Kiyomi. So, Kiyomi Haunterly is inherently really good. Despite being closer in like a family friend way with the ghosts that she lives with, she still chooses to tell them when they're wrong about hazing on the living monsters. She barely really knows these people and their culture, but she still defends them because she sees the right side versus the bullying or mistreating wrong side. And she's good. You know, she doesn't come across as good because of the stereotypes that monsters and ghosts have, but she ultimately is good. And lastly, Frankenstein. I actually said so much about her before that I didn't say anything, but she's good. You know, she shows a true side of acceptance and embracing what you have and what you're born with. And by fundamental standards, that's what light dorm fairies and creatures should stand for. Finally, let's move on. That took literally 50 years, but it was really fun doing the light dorm. So I'm sure the dark dorm is just as fun as analysis as the dark dorm is. As the light dorm is, whatever, because those two are the most iconic in Ever After High, Enchantix High history. I'm so tired of this dorm. So, for the animal realm, we have from Ever After High, Rosabella Beauty and Cerise Hood, Monster High, Claude Wolf, and Widona Spider.
Cerise Hood was in a wonderful mood.
So, quick disclaimer, everyone, for the most part, in the animal realm will be pretty similar, done in a similar style. We have Cerise Hood, and yes, like I said previously, spoiler, she is half bad wolf. So automatically she has an animal heritage that adds to the point of why she should be in the animal dorm. Then let's look at her personality. So she is a big foodie, something seen a lot in apex predators or most animals anyway. She also has sometimes a soft-natured spirit. You know, she's not always this crazy girl, but when the boys push her on edge and have misogynistic undertones speaking towards her, even though she smoked them, no one's ever said that word in a long... I'm literally not... I am a Gen Z, but anyway, she stood her ground like an animal does when they feel threatened, and you cannot fool her or... Okay, what am I talking about? You cannot mess with her because she will give you a run for your money. All we need to know about Cerise is she has a big appetite, she's highly competitive, she can be soft-natured sometimes like animals can be when they let their guard down, but don't mess with her because, you know, she can also stand her ground. That's Cerise Hood, pretty obvious, we love her, moving on.
Rosabella Beauty, daughter of Beauty and the Beast, is a very special girl.
Rosabella is a whole thing to unpack. I will say, if we're going off Disney standards, her mother was like barely with animals, so why is that a whole thing that Rosabella and animals, Rosabella, like she was barely, oh my, did I just, I was thinking about when Belle's like with the birds and the beast. Little did I seem to understand that the whole point of the movie and who she loves is an animal. So let me scratch what I just said. No, she obviously loves animals. I don't know where I was going. I don't know why I thought, okay, it's not about her. It's not about her. Sorry, Walt. 37 seconds wasted for me to completely not understand anything. Anyway, Rosabella Beauty. Well, as we can see, she protects animals. I mean, she was mad about Fabal stealing him. You know, that's pretty bad anyway. But obviously her whole thing with Daring, which I preferred him with Lizzie. Sorry, everybody, but we'll get into him later. You know, it shows that she has this whole animal bond and connection. She might not be half or full animal at all, but the fact that she's an ally for animals says enough. And she also loves an animal because, of course, I forgot the most important part of, like, the whole point of Beauty and the Beast. But, I mean, again, she's self-explanatory. Although you wouldn't think it because she's a princess. Unless you obviously know Belle, and apparently I don't, and her story. But off the surface, looks like your average princess, but little do you know, she is more than that. I mean, compared to Darling, who seemed to be grossed out by these animals, which, babe, like, what? I didn't, like, Darling, hello? You sound like a loser. I hate her voice. She's so pretty, but I hate her voice. Anyway, Rosabella subverts typical standards and expectations of princesses, and we love her for it, and she is perfectly fitting in this animal dorm, and spoiler alert, all these people get on, or animals, human, animal, they all get on really well, okay? Oh my gosh, can I move on from her?
Come on, Claude, bring it!
From the scowl line.
So, if I was lazy, I could have made all 4 of the wolf family members, you know, Claude Wolf, Claudine, Helene, the other one. I could have made them all in this dorm. Oh wait, no, I couldn't. They're not all Ever After High characters. That's okay. I'm humbling myself in this dorm section. Okay, it's Claude Wolf. He's hot, okay? So, just like his sister Claudine, when a full moon appears, they're already werewolves, so they just gain stronger powers. So he becomes even more aggressive and even more animalistic. So again, like Cerise, she's half animal, but he's fully animal, and arguably also a monster, in a sense, more than an animal. He has this apex predator ability. You know, he has that need for a mate, Draculaura. That's kind of a standard thing in nature. He is athletic, a really common thing seen in animals of all kinds, especially predators. Honestly, yeah, he loves to eat. He's a big meat eater, and he's awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy. I don't need to say much about him. I mean, just look at him, and he's perfect for this realm. Could have been better choices, maybe, but I'm lazy. I'm already doing enough here. Quick side note. We're gonna have to see Namantha Sucks, I believe her name is, give a doll review of Widona because there's literally like barely any scenes of her, so ignore the fact that that's gonna be her section of the video. I must say, I am a lot more educated on Ever After High, so I don't really know what to say about Widona. Her name obviously is perfect for a spider. Her look is perfect for a spider. You can see in the 5 seconds of the scene pack that she has these spider abilities. You know, the whole web thing and then catching the 2 little banners as like prey. I don't know, is she stupid that isn't prey? I don't know what the context is. I've not even watched the movies. I know. Widona is like a hard one for me because I can't find much on her. But if you're a Monster High stan, then you'll know all about her. I apologize, but this is the only one that I can justify because I've done a lot of work and I still have 6 more to go or something like that of the dorm. So please forgive me, guys. And cool video, Samantha? I forgot your name already, but I love you. Time for a summary. And can I just say, I don't know why I summarized the light dorm so much. No wonder that video never ended because I did like a whole 3-minute in-depth of each character summary. So back to the basics because again, I am going above my pay rate. I'm not even getting paid for this, actually. Anyway, let's summarize the animal dorm. We have Cerise Hood, probably the most iconic and famous on this crew, along with probably Claude. Cerise is half bad wolf, and she is super athletic, super cool. She can stand her ground, but she can also have that soft-natured spirit, especially when she lets her guard down around people like Raven, her family, and her little pet that's like a wolf kind of pet thing. I don't know what in the Mickey Mouse is going on there. I keep talking about Disney. I'm sorry. Okay, moving on, we have Rosabella Beauty. She doesn't fit the typical princess stereotypes, because obviously she loves a beast who is daring, and she helps all animals in need and is really not afraid of anybody. Like, she talked down to the Fae Valthorn. I would never disrespect my girl. Then we have Claude, very similar to Cerise, part of the wolf family. You know, he's a great guy. I mean, I don't have to say much about him. And lastly, Widona. I don't have anything to say about her because I don't know her. Like,
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is.
From Ever After High, we have Briar Beauty and Melody Piper. From Monster High, Caddy Noir and Operetta.
Well, there's one thing I'm always up for. A study party! Yes!
So, before anyone asks, Popstar music have to be together. There's not enough monsters and people to make up 4 different groups. You know, like 2 monsters and 2 Ever After High characters for Popstar, and then music, they have to be together. Could I have used Sparrow Hood? Yes, but he's annoying and I didn't want to. Madison Fear, I changed last minute because she might be too hard to find clips of. So, we're gonna break it down. Popstar music, 2 for each. In the Popstar category, we have Briar, and you're gonna have to hear me out with that one. And we have Caddy Noir. And in the music category, we have Operetta and obviously Melody Piper. So let's get into it. So, based on Briar Beauty's destiny, her mother sings, so surely she should be able to hit a few notes. Also, in terms of music and Popstar, they're pretty different because music, it can be instruments or singing, but also there's a difference between a singer and a vocalist. And a Popstar girl or guy performs, and they might have okay vocals, but a music category person who's a vocalist will be like exceptionally good at singing, but maybe, not, all about the attention. Briar loves the attention. She loves a good party. Honestly, maybe I'm regretting my choice, but I'm gonna have to go with it. She's also one of the characters that, like, everybody tries to copy and follow. I have a bit of a cough, so ignore that. It's really hard to talk. Anyway, so she's like a good trendsetter. Even her fashion senses, I can't think of anyone who copies her. But the point is, she has Popstar qualities. She definitely gives off that, like, center of attention. She loves to party, and she's a good vibe. I could see her doing Popstar music in her spare time. Anyway, that's her, maybe a bit bad, but I don't know, okay?
How about you, Melody?
Sure thing, Dad.
Melody Piper, the daughter of the Pied Piper, is in the music part of the Popstar and Music Dorm category. She's awesome. As we can see in this episode, she really knows how to move people. I guess that kind of gives Popstar a vibe, but she's more of a DJ. And to me, that's more focused on music rather than physical performance like Mike getting up there and singing. So she might not really be a singer, but she still does some form of music. Again, an obvious one. I love Melody. She's really underrated. Obviously, I'm not too much of a fan of the Ever After High reboot before the awful dolls, but the new song, the new intro lineup, it's not that great. Some of the outfits are giving 2012 for sure, but Melody is really good and underrated, and as a new character, awesome. Also in pop culture, she's getting pretty popular because Zara Larsson vibe, and I love that for her. Anyway, easy one, music. Let's move on.
Want to be a normal fool. Be like my friends and go to school.
So, Caddy Noir is awesome. She was born to perform. Wait, ooh, that rhymed. Anyway, unlike Briar, we actually see her actively singing, but, she's born to be living in a performance. Similar to Melody, she's obviously inclined with music. She's a singer, one of the most famous Monster High singers in their world. She has a massive fan base, and she's got those vocals. I do prefer G1, Caddy to G3, look and everything, but she gives diva. People literally actively copy her. Again, we see this in her. I do regret my choices adding Briar, but whatever. Point is, Caddy is like the epitome of a pop star. Last but not least, Operetta. Somebody I actually know pretty well, not that my Monster High knowledge is that great. She is perfect for the music dorm. I will say she's a bit more of a behind-the-scenes kind of girl. To my knowledge though, even though I know her so well, I don't think she's a singer. I think she's just a composer, so she'd be perfect for music, but not the Popstar dorm. I also will say she's a tad bit controversial. She's a bit aggressive at points. Sometimes valid, sometimes not. Does she learn from her mistakes? Yes, but a pop star could never do what she does. Well, oh, you're gonna hate me for this one. I was gonna say, she tries to take someone's man, and as a pop star, you're not really allowed to do that. You'll be canceled in this day and age. But Ariana got away with it. Okay, I'm not trying to be controversial. Back to operetta. We love her. Please don't sue me, Ariana. I have a poster of you in my room. Okay, anyway, operetta is musically inclined. She's really skillful and she is underrated. So in summary, our pop stars, Briar and Caddy. Briar is, to our knowledge, not a singer, but she could probably have good enough vocals based on her destiny. She loves to perform, similar to Caddy, and they have big fan bases. Briar, maybe not on a scale of a global one, but still big enough because she makes a big impression and she loves to party, and Caddy is obviously famous. Music, Melody, Piper, and operetta. Melody is pretty cool. She's honestly really popular, so maybe she could pitch in the Popstar middle ground a little bit, but she loves to play her music and DJ. And operetta, a little bit controversial, but still a really, really skillful girl. So the creative dorm for Ever After High, we have Maddie Hatter and Poppy and Holly O'Hare. You can't really separate the twins. And Monster High, we have, of course, Katrine Demew and Claudine Wolfe. And before anyone says anything, I know a lot of people from Monster High and Monsters... Whatever. Everybody is creative in some way.
We all say true. Yeah, I guess.
Apple, but I had to nail it down to 4.
Princessology, Apple recited the girls' royal headwear line from birth tiara to coronation crown from memory. Holly, that is so fabulous.
How could I do a creative category without the twins? Now, I will say I'm not sure they paint like their mother. I won't name which mother from which franchise, but personally I do prefer Poppy, although I don't know what everyone was doing in the 2010s with this like weird undercut. But anyway, they are pretty creative. I mean, the whole hair salon situation, their outfits, although again, everyone in Ever After High has good outfits, so the creative category is honestly a challenging one. Well, with Holly, if I'm not mistaken, she helped Lizzie, which also could have been in this category, make the spring unsprung outfits, or she had some involvement in it. And I guess Poppy does her own thing, like she says every 5 seconds. And I mean, that's a creative thing in itself. Again, a vague category, so I didn't really know how to put these two together. But that's Poppy and Holly, and they're so clumsy like their mother. Not naming franchises. Anyway, that's them.
Madeline Hatter pledged to follow the destiny of dear old dad, the Mad Hatter of Wonderland.
It's Madeline Hatter. Okay, now we're sounding more like Mickey Mouse as the time goes on, but obviously it's Maddie Hatter. She is like the epitome of creative. I guess everyone from Wonderland is, but I feel like she has a different level of creativeness compared to other Wonderlandians. Is that the word? I don't know. Also, side note of this episode, literally why are all these people so devastated? For example, you'll see later on, Daring is like, oh my gosh, Wonderland Grove. You don't care about anyone. Last time I checked, you ditched Lizzie, and I'm still salty about it. Anyway, Maddie is pretty creative. Clearly she got the right people to help her with this Wonderland Grove problem. Her outfit's creative, her destiny's creative, and as we can see, she chose initially to follow her destiny when she thought the Storybook of Legends was real, which is Daring. Anyway, which is awesome and a very creative thing to do. I love Maddie. She's creative. I mean, she ran for whatever that class president, something similar that Apple just had to take over, but I feel like she has a lot of creative qualities, not just because she's from Wonderland, and honestly, I love her. She's honestly one of my favorite characters. She's fantastic. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna move on.
My older sister Claudia is studying dramatic writing there. She knows London like the back of her paw.
Get your claws out. Anyway, I'm tired of it. It's Claudine Wolfe. She is the ultimate queen of fashion. If only there was a fashion dorm in Enchantix High, because she would take it by storm. I am rhyming off the back of my head. It's time to go to bed. Also, the hairstyling is not just something that Poppy and Holly do. Claudine is very much into styling her hair. All her dolls have a lot more variety in hair colors and hair textures and hair lengths than the other ghouls, and I think that's what people love about her. Also, I think she has the best outfit of the ghouls, and I hate to say it, but she is totally their fashion inspiration, and that's Claudine. She's the queen of fashion, and she's creative anyway. Some of her insults, like, I could learn a thing or two.
I am Katrine. I can tell that you are also worried. Will I fit in? Will they like me?
Katrine is super creative. So she's like a painter because she can do some form of art, which automatically is like pretty creative. Also, she is a fashion expert. Also, I guess she's categorized as some kind of French based on her accents. And there's like totally a law back in like the olden days. Basically, you cannot be in France unless you are creative. So I mean, guys, she's creative. Like, there we go. I tried to tell you guys about the decree. Like, yeah, I was there and everything. Anyway, yes, summarizing Katrine Deneuve. She is fabulous. She is a painter, so she's artistic, so she's creative. She's a fashion girl, maybe a designer, so she's creative. Nothing else to say about her. Let's summarize this category and let's move it on. We are almost done. So, in summary, we have Poppy and Holly O'Hare. Really creative, really into hair, creatively lying to everyone. Yeah, we know who's older. Madeline Hatter, the voice for Wonderland. Her outfits are creative. Her destiny's creative. Everything about her is creative. Claudine Wolfe, fashion designer. Creative insults. Diva. I mean, you don't get more creative and fashionable than these people. Katrine Deneuve. We already spoke about the decree, so it talks for itself, really. Let's move it on. So, for our tech dorm, from Ever After High, we have Dexter Charming and Ginger, and hear me out with her, but not like Briar. I actually have, like, genuine reasons this time. And Monster High, the one and only Gulia Yelps and Rebecca Steam.
No! I just want to bake for everyone. But even Gus and Helga Crumb won't try my treats.
First of all, I thought I've seen every single Ever After High episode, but I never saw this one in the past. And watching it now, I really enjoyed it. So in this one, and in another episode that Ginger is in, she's a sweetheart. Super underrated. I asked you guys to hear me out, so hear me out. She's obviously not following her mother's footsteps. Duh. Therefore, her mom didn't really care which cooking model or device or type would, be helpful to cook the children as long as it just cooked them. You understand what I'm saying? There was no thought behind that. But since Ginger actually cares about making normal food, she might care about which devices will help her, which new futuristic modern tech like ovens, etc. will be the best for her baking. And in the other episode, we see her and Maddie get on really well. Maddie is creative, and so is Ginger, very obviously because she's a baker. Therefore, she has some creativity, so why can't she put that towards technology? She totally could. She could create a new high-tech that helps her make the baking easier. I mean, hello, this is a fairy tale we're talking about. She could easily do that. And she wears glasses, so she's smart. And I wear glasses, so I'm smart.
I wish I was more like my brother. If I was the great, daring, charming, girls would just fall for me. Literally.
Nobody is surprised that he's in the technology dorm. Could Humphrey Dumpty also be here? Yes, but pretty privileged. Okay, he's a loser. I'm sorry. No, Dexter is as low as we're gonna go, although he's kind of a hear me out. But anyway, Dexter Charming. First of all, he's academically driven. Automatically, if someone wants to learn a lot about technology, then they gotta be obviously academic. And he's all big into his Marinet thing, phone situation. So that adds points automatically. He's got glasses too. I mean, hello, the joke's right itself, people. Also, he's kind of a shy guy, clearly. Similar to his twin sister, Darling. So I could totally see him designing different objects to help him ask out Raven or to do certain things. Not academically, he would totally do his own assignments and stuff, but creating with his computer device or whatever, something that just helps him in a social aspect. Make me fun at a party, because he probably doesn't really use magic potions, so technology is his way to go. I don't want to touch on too much about him because I don't care about the boys. Okay, this is a girl party. Hey, okay. Can I just say, truly an insufferable character. I'm sorry. Love Gulia's designs. What an annoying voice. Pipe down. I hate it. Oh, okay. But obviously, she's the queen of tech. She has the glasses again. And, she's all about that coding stuff. She is always seen in a lot of webisodes and even in the movies with some sort of technology nearby her. And she's also really interested in science and robotics. I honestly hate her voice, and she's super easy. Thank goodness. You know, if only Apple, who I hate more than anyone, was an easy character to unpack, but she has so much personality, you can't. But with Ghoulia, she says absolutely nothing. And thank goodness, because I hate her voice. Let's move on to Rebecca, and then let's summarize.
Who is this?
Another obvious one, her name is Rebecca, like a robot. She was born from being a robot. Although, side note, why is everyone every 5 seconds in this little Rebecca Steam scene pack saying, Rebecca, it's Rebecca, it's Rebecca? Guys, she's like, you guys are the coolest monsters and you care about this? But anyway, so obviously she is literally made from technology, so automatically she's perfect. I will say though, her technology is obviously less advanced for the Monster High time. However, with the help of her ghoul friends like Ghoulia, who I hate, and just other people, she can become more modern with her technology. But with her little rocket boots and her name, her origin, she's perfect for the technology dorm. She's really smart. She's all about, you know, girl power. I mean, this is someone you want to hear 24/7. We want her to talk 24/7, you know, on like a panel, running for president. Don't even think about it, Ghoulia. But anyway, let's summarize. Technology was a really easy one. And not all characters fit in this because not all of them are smart. Yes, I'm being brutal, okay? I'm tired. So, in summary, my favorite of the whole crew, honestly, we have Gingerbread House. Underrated, a rebel, will probably use technology in a modern way to help better her cooking and baking abilities to help all. Dexter Charming, highly academic, and might use technology in a way to ask Raven on a date or honestly provide any social skills, or maybe for academics. Honestly, I don't have to explain him. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Then we have Ghoulia Yelps. Then we have Rebecca Steam. And she is not ignorant to learning new ways to modernize her technology. She was born from technology. She's a robot. She's super nice, very intelligent, and she speaks for herself. Now, let's summarize. Oh wait, we've already summarized. Now, let's move on. So, from Ever After High, we have obviously Lizzie Hearts and Cupid, and Monster High, Cleo Denial, Hear Me Out, and Draculaura, obviously.
I have a new amulet I've been dying to try out.
So, what I think people tend to forget with Cleo Denial's character is that yes, she might be a mean girl, but don't forget, it was all about branding. When Monster High first began, they had to have a brutish and a bit of a sassy character. For example, Briar kind of portrayed that with the original main cast or characters, whatever, of Ever After High. Raquel portrays it in Barbie, etc. You need a bit of an antagonist who comes around eventually, and then you have a real antagonist like Lorelei. But the point is, Cleo started out like that. However, with self-love, friendship love, and romantic love, I feel like she comes around and I can justify her being in this dorm. So let's get into it. She had her moments with Frankie. Frankie can be annoying. Let's all admit it, that Barbie voice is a little bit too angel-like. Anyway, I mean, she's in the light dorm, get it? Okay. Anyway, but she came around eventually. Wasn't really wanting her to be on the fear team, but then she became her ghoul, okay? We can summarize that little point shortly. Her and Ghoulia's friendship is awesome. People wouldn't expect her to be, like, in a genuine friendship with Ghoulia, because when you think about the mean girl and the mean girl's sidekick, in a sense, you think of, like, Sabrina and Chloe. And you don't really think that a mean or fashionable, popular, sassy, rich girl could actually see a friendship with the girl who's nerdy and quiet, but they work really well, and they actually stem away from the stereotype. Then, of course, her other friends. Then we also have moments where she has to kind of get over the fact that she doesn't like operetta, or that girl in the flower, who I forgot the name of. So overcoming your enemies is a big, important factor in love, and not all of us can pull it off, but obviously Cleo did. And then, of course, her relationship with Deuce. They are perfect together. She actually, you know, expresses heartache when they, in one of the movies, which I can't remember because I don't watch them, you know, he sings that whole weird part where, like, he talks all deep and then he goes, Cleo, or whatever he said. The point is, she felt upset.
The real story is so much more fantastic.
Draculaura is so well known in the Monster High fandom and in pop culture in general. And why people know her is her beautiful color scheme, her dolls, but most importantly, her beautiful, kind, soft, caring personality. Interrupting my mic. So she clearly loves humans or whatever vampires in their universe eat enough to not eat them. So that's already love for others. Then we have the fact, though, with her romantic relationship with Claude, aside from the romance, he is a massive meat eater. And even though she's a vegetarian and meat like makes her all go weird and funny, she still has enough love for him in a decency, respectful way, and even in a romantic way to not be like, you can't eat that because I'm a vegetarian. So there's one example. I mean, her and her ghoul friends, she's like the ultimate nicest character of the whole crew. Because Frankie has her boring and annoying moments. Well, she's actually never boring. She can't be both of those things, can she? Whatever. But Draculaura is a perfect amount. I will say sometimes her accent can get a little bit annoying, but does that sound bad to say that? It's just the high-pitchedness. Let me try and do it. Okay, you guys ready? My boyfriend... Yeah, no. Moving on.
Play better or off with your head!
I swear I'm not intentionally trying to cut off these girls. Anyway, it's Lizzie Hearts. Heart, like her destiny. Another similar case to Cleo, with self-love being important, loving enemies, because, I mean, it's like her destiny to be evil. But her mother isn't even that evil in this adaptation of the Queen of Hearts, so I don't even get it. Also, don't get why I decided to suddenly rap so fast. Anyway, yes, but obviously she does follow her mother's destiny as a royal by birth and a royal by her destiny following situation. But her mom is not that evil, which thank goodness, because then Lizzie could never be in the love dorm. She is a character who maybe has a lot of social issues and skills, and maybe a lack of self-love and confidence. You'd think she would have all this confidence the way she acts, but that's kind of maybe like a coping mechanism, like a wall over her. I don't know why I went all therapist mode, but that's what I was assuming when I watched the webisode with Daring and Lizzie. And when her guard gets a little bit down and down and down, she realizes maybe he's not that bad. Maybe she had issues with men in the past. That's what I'm thinking. Point is, it's evident she has a great love for her friends, so we don't even need to go over that. But I think the fact that she loved Daring, and I consider it love, that is, you know what? I love the Summer I Turned Pretty, like, side notes. Daring and Lizzie, if they made them more and more and more in the show, would be like equivalent to that in a sense. I'm a big fan of the enemies to lovers trope, the girl and the guy who should never be together type of thing. They were everything to me. Honestly, they were everything. He has a thing for girls with like red outfits apparently. Anyway, I rest my case. Lizzie and Daring are perfect for each other. Lizzie is the
Old C.A. Cupid, adopted daughter of Eros, the god of love.
Side note, please don't make fun of the millennial heart backgrounds. They're really hard to find good ones, and these aren't even good. So, to me, Cupid is the perfect adaptation of a love dorm fairy in that sense, in terms of looks. Other than her looks, she's doomed. Yeah, she's doomed. Well, obviously, her personality is very welcoming, inviting, sweet, very similar to Draculaura, without the annoying accents. Okay, I'll stop. But her destiny sucks, because while she makes love for others, which is all great and wonderful, she is destined to be unlovable. So you know what? Not only is that really sad, because yikes, can't relate, of course. But anyway, I'm so funny. The point is, that shows that she is perfect for this dorm. Not only in the sense where she makes others happy with the love, but she makes them happy in spite of herself. She loves others so much, she has so much love, that she just sacrifices her own love for others. And I think that's all we have to say about her, because when I think about her, I get a bit emotional. And I hate Dexter so much. I hate him! So, Cleo and Lizzie are very similar to me. Both passionate people, both protect their friends and love their friends, but not people to mess with, both in awesome romantic relationships, and both, over time, having better character love development. Draculaura and Cupid are very similar, both very likable characters, very sweet, except Draculaura has a great relationship and Cupid's kind of hopeless, but both still display different ways of love towards their friends and others, even without physical romance for themselves. Ah, yes, it's Frozen time. It's icy time. It's time to hopefully not get sued. In our ice dorm category, we have from Ever After High, Daring Charming, and And Crystal Winter. Monster High, obviously, Abby Bonamable, and Easy Dawn Dancer.
I'm just so confused about what I'm supposed to do now that I know I'm not Apple's Prince Charming.
So I could have used Jackie Frost and her brother for this theme. However, we don't really know much about their characters. And we barely even know Crystal Winter, but she has to be here because I'm running out of options. However, Daring, we've known for a while, and he's a pretty well-written character. So automatically, he has an icy, cold, and standoffish personality when addressing women. He only uses them to feed his ego, so getting validation from them. However, in the good redeeming qualities, thanks with Rosabella's help, we see that he has to adapt to his icy surroundings in the winter special. Whatever it's called, I forgot the name. Did watch it though, I did watch this one. Bit cringy though, I must say. And if we're following his original destiny, now with Rosabella as the Beast, he kind of lives in a pretty icy place. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast has got the icy, snowy moments, which is quite aesthetic. So he should fit that automatically. Also, his Beast-like furry outfit, like the suit, well, it's not really a suit, is it? His fursona. Anyway, it's quite a light and icy aesthetic. He's a really hard character to do, so this is the best I could do with him. I'm also running out of time to film this video, and he's a sucking character. I meant, he's a character that sucks to do. I'm gonna go. I don't know what I'm saying.
Apple! Maddie! You're here!
Now we have Crystal Winter, one of the prettiest Ever After High characters, considering the time she came out. Like, I'm really surprised she looks that good. Obviously, her name is Crystal Winter. Also, in her destiny, she is the princess of the Winter Realm. Her powers, she's got those icy powers, not to be mistaken with another girl with icy powers. She is honestly a really cool girl. I mean, she literally creates magical ice, controls snow. What more can I say about her that you guys don't seem to grasp? She's not a very well-written character, but then again, it's when Ever After High was doomed. Doom After High, if you will. And so we only got to see her in one special, which I remember the name of, Epic Winter. I totally didn't search that. But had we had more, maybe she would have been better written. But the point is, at least she's perfect for this category, the Ice Storm.
Your books for you, baby?
My name not is Baby, it is Abby.
Obviously, this is a character I can vouch for. Abby! Won't say her last name because I already butchered it. So, first of all, her lineage, slash destiny. She is a Yeti, so automatically she is associated with the wintry, cold, icy, mysterious side of folklore and ice and whatever. Of course, because she is a monster, she has some sort of power or connection to her monster background, and for her, she has ice and snow powers. Also, as we can tell in her first webisode, she is so standoffish and icy. Obviously, it's just like her culture, and it's a bit of a clash, and Frankie's kind of stupid, let's be honest. However, to your average viewer, and even as the audience ourselves, we kind of think that she's a bit standoffish, icy, cold, harsh, and she doesn't really change that throughout the series. She stays like that anyway, which I actually prefer because it shows off different cultures and how people should tolerate that, and how ultimately she fits her aesthetic perfectly. And she doesn't really like Heath Burns. I mean, hello, Ice and Fire. It's perfect.
Easy Dawn Dancer. She lives in Boo Hexico.
This might be my bias speaking because Easy is one of the prettiest characters of Monster High, so maybe she shouldn't even be in this dorm. But I'm gonna try and go off her look. Her look, to me, represents very cozy. Her hair is obviously a perfect wintry blue aesthetic. But also, she could represent, like, the quiet, wintry forest vibe. I mean, she's like a deer or whatever, which is such a winter aesthetic, thanks to the movie Bambi. I feel like she is like this perfect, cute, soft-natured girl, which represents the fluffy, playful, childish, innocent side of snow and winter. Not much to say about her. I already said embarrassingly quiety, whatever the heck that is. I'm just biased towards her. I love her. This video needs to come out really soon. I'm lazy. I'm sorry. So that's her. In summary, daring charming, originally icy and standoffish, and brutally rude and harsh, like a harsh, cold, evil, ugly winter. But the positive side of him is that he exposes his final destiny in an atmosphere of snow. He gets revealed his true destiny around snow. Also, his beast attire, or, white fair beast mane, is obviously fitting for the ice and frosty aesthetic. Then we have Crystal Winter. Her name, her destiny, her superpowers, her look. Everything about her screams ice winter. It's perfect. Easy Dawn Dancer is a little bit of a tough one, but she represents the chilly, cozy, at the same time, winter forest aesthetic, like Bambi. A really soft-spoken, innocent kind of vibe that nature has, and well, we're not even talking about nature, we're talking about snow. She's like innocent and playful, like snow is. And lastly, Abby Bonnable. Oh, I said it for once. Don't need to even explain her. Icy, cold, harsh, powers that are icy, origins that are snowy. That's the Ice Storm. So, in the last but never least Dark Dorm, Monster High, we have Elizabeth and Spectra Vondergeist. And Ever After High, we have Kitty Cheshire and the one, the only, the best Raven Queen.
And you are all invited.
So Elizabeth would be perfect. First of all, obviously her vampire heritage. Being a vampire naturally connects her to the darker gothic side of the supernatural world. I want to point out that none of these characters are going to be inherently evil, but rather possessing a mysterious vibe, because not all in the Dark Dorm are evil, they're just dubbed as evil, or they have a dark something off about them in like a spooky way. Obviously, besides her heritage, her outfit, it's Victorian inspired, and if we're going back to like history, those times were pretty bad for society, really gothic, really dark. She gives something spooky. Also, she's an actress, so she kind of is born for that. Something's about her role, that makes her a main character.
Logos look spectacular. Total front page material.
Spectra Vondergeist. With all of the characters in the storm, they all possess a dark purple and black vibe, which I don't have to do, but I wanted to do anyway. Many characters are mysterious, even if they don't possess this color scheme, but I want it to be fun and theatrical. Now, Spectra is obviously a ghost, so her heritage pays tribute to the dark and mysterious side of being part of the Dark Dorm. The mere fact that she is an othered because she's a ghost makes that atmosphere of spookiness so much more real. Now, Spectra, of course, being a ghost, is allowed to kind of teleport and be invisible, and that adds to obviously her thing in Monster High as the ghostly gossip girl, which is already a secret thing. So it's all about secrecy with Spectra, which is perfect for the Dark Dorm because it's like she lurks in the shadows. Can I just say, why am I so professional with the Dark Dorm? You can tell this is the last dorm and I'm like so relieved, but honestly the dark and light categories are my favorites to do, and surprisingly the creative one, nature, I'll go over nature when I summarize this whole thing at the end of my video, which isn't far away. But anyway, essentially, Spectra is perfect. What else can I possibly say about her?
And they want to know if I'm a royal or a rebel.
Then we have Kitty Cheshire. Honestly, probably my all-time favorite Ever After High character, especially because of her look. So, and I mean, on the topic of her look, she looks perfect for the Dark Dorm. She has that playful energy that can be seen in rebellious, mysterious Dark Dorm perfect characters. She possesses the purple color scheme. She's choosing to follow her destiny as the Cheshire Cat. And again, yes, she is a bit of a mean girl, and her mother is like totally Angelina Jolie. But anyway, she's also not just Angelina Jolie looking, but she's also evil looking. However, the Cheshire Cat's actual destiny is not even that bad. However, what he is mysterious. Bingo. Okay, and that's exactly what Kitty possesses. A mysterious, spooky vibe. You never know where she is. She's lurking everywhere. So similar to Spectra.
Kitty, you gotta stop pulling all these pranks.
Dun, 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 dun. Last, but never least, Raven Queen. Yes, I had to save her for last. Raven is inherently good. Remember that? Remember that word inherently? Well, it's back. Raven is a really good character. However, she has the appearance of a dark dorm character. Then again, when you look at the rest of the candidates for the dark dorm, none of them are, besides a few jokes here and there and pranks, then none of them are evil. And I intentionally did it like that because it's not called the evil dorm, it's called the dark dorm, where they possess mysterious factors that seem spooky. However, they're probably misunderstood. And Raven is a great example of being misunderstood. So of course, when we're introduced to her, you think she might be the antagonist. It's pretty clear to me, I don't know about anybody else. But she's not. Apple is evil, she's awful, she's evil, she's awful, evil, awful. Okay? But Raven is great. Raven is so kind, so caring, she helps all of them, but she's also such a good activist for fellow rebels or people who are misunderstood in any way or any shape or form. And of course, she doesn't sign the Storybook of Legends, making her a rebel. However, that doesn't mean she's evil. But of course, in her look and in her destiny factor, whether she follows it or not, she'll automatically have a dark, stormy, mysterious vibe. And she kind of rocks it pretty well. And we're done. Time to summarize these characters and then do a final goodbye. I can't wait. In summary, Elizabeth possesses a dark and Victorian and Gothic appearance. Also, the way she acts, it's very mysterious. Obviously, you don't know her identity because she's an actress. You don't know her next move. Then we have Spectra Vandergeist and Kitty Cheshire, both in similar boats. Both are able to hide and carry on that spooky appearance and setting. And then, of course, we have Raven Queen, the one and only queen. Her destiny's supposed to be super evil, but of course, she subverts those expectations and is super nice. However, something she doesn't get rid of and she embraces is her spooky and mysterious persona. We will miss you all so much, I can't take it. Who am I kidding? This has been fun. This has been the longest project of my entire life, and I've actually missed out on my actual assignments for my real life. But anyway, took us 5 weeks, could have taken 12 days because it's 12 categories, but I got lazy. Or did I? Because look how much I did. Anyway, I will point out the nature dorm is actually my all-time favorite dorm. I will always pick the nature characters, Fluttershy, Flora, over any other characters, yet that was my worst one. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I know that it was really bad in the beginning, but after the water dorm, it gets so much funnier and longer and actually better. Or it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. But anyway, later. I won't miss you all. I'm kidding, but I'm just tired, okay?